Okay, let's watch the first replay. You versus your brother, TvZ, I heard, huh? Alright, let's do this, man. Acropolis. Okay. Let's see how you execute this. Let's see what can you improve. Would you also like to hear also your brother's side, or mostly your point of view? Which
Probably you can yeah, let's do the first one like more in detail, but on the other hand, this was the first game we played against each other after we placed in our leagues, so probably there would be some improvement through the time. I mean, like the later replays should be a bit better than this one, yeah. But probably this first one, I think it's reasonable to comment both sides, and like say for example, if there were like positions where, for example, I was better off and when he was better off, and when we didn't use some form of advantage, for example, like this.
Got it. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Okay, so supply. Good. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's why if you try to play a game that is very heavy on a computer that can handle very heavy because it doesn't have a really good graphic card, it's gonna start to stutter in the game a lot. You've probably seen this before, you know. I'm pretty sure you've seen this before. Okay. Interesting build, the one you're doing. Quite safe. Wow. Your brother is like, you shall not attack me. Okay.
I think he saw my strategy because I show him before, because in fact I even didn't want to play like against him at the start, yeah, and I just showed him some games, so probably he had slight advantage, I believe, because he knew roughly what I'm doing. Yeah, I was playing like a Battlecruiser strategy, and which was, I think, from some guy whose name is Zuka. He's like French player. And I use it like before your builds, before I try to learn some of your more aggressive builds. So this is the style, and he was able to observe it in some games before, so I don't know how much is he going to like play specifically against this, or he's not, but I was a bit like
okay.
He knew what I'm doing, probably to some extent.
Okay, fantastic.
He already has characters there.
Okay, fantastic. Let me give you feedback in regards to defense. Okay. So here's the thing. This is very foundational. Every time you go and grab a new base, there's basically gonna be 3 main points that the enemy is gonna be able to attack you. And this usually, regardless of the map you're playing. So you can see that the enemy could attack you from this angle. The enemy could attack from this angle. Yes. And the enemy could do a attack from air from here.
Yes.
This is generally pretty much what happens, right? There's also like some variations that he might attack from here, but this is not very common. And there's also variations come with air units from here too. That also not very common. Usually they're gonna attack through here, front side, or harassment on the main base. Now that being said, every time you go get a third base, you must like identify the main paths in which the enemy will tend to attack you. But like I said, it's here and here, and position the siege tank in such a way that you're gonna be able to cover this. So for example, you could place, for example, one siege tank here. This would cover this area, and another siege tank here, which would cover this area. Now, as you can see, if you have positioned the siege tank here, and he came from attack from this angle, eventually he would come closer to around here to attack the siege tank, and this siege tank would get in range and to help each other. So this means that the range from one siege tank to another should not be too big, because you want to guarantee that you can defend two areas, but at the same time one siege tank can support each other. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understood. That both of them
So
can shoot
you
to the target.
yes, yes. Exactly. So here you have, at this moment, I think, you have 3 siege tanks. So you could have, because generally think this together with me. If the Zerg would attack you right now, do you think he'll mostly attack you on your expansion, your natural, or most likely on your third? What do you think?
On the third is more logical, I would say, because it's near to his base. So
Exactly.
even if he goes to my main or like to the natural expansion, he's going to pass the area most probably. So this is
Exactly. You've got it. So see, generally, you need to have mostly of your siege tank is in this area, and just one siege tank here, just because if he tries to attack the natural, which is a smaller chance, just like you said, right? Because this siege tank will force him, lure him into this siege tank, and then this other siege tank will support you.
Yeah, I understood that it's very like lightly covered or not covered at all. This third base I have.
Exactly. So I can't put all my siege tanks here, because here I can't. I only the maximum range of the siege tank is going to be around here, which doesn't fully protect me. So I have to position like here. Maybe one single siege tank around here, because this guarantees that if there's a left attack, this siege tank can protect this area. All the rest here, because it protects mostly this area, and another one here. So you have one siege tank covering this area, one siege tank covering this area, and the pivot, the guys in between, to support in case they attack from here for here. So this is critical what I'm telling you here, because understanding this gives you a really solid defense. Like even my master students come to me, they don't know how to position their siege tanks. I'm like, what the f you doing? Right? They are positioning the siege tank in such a way that it's not helpful really. I have students that they position siege tank, for example, here. What the hell? Like here, you can protect the natural, but you can do shit to your third, right? Because if you sit here, the maximum range of the siege tank is going to be like around here. So it's only going to be able to protect versus Zerglings and Baneling,
Oh, I see.
which are melee units, right? And that's even bad for you, because it's going to cause friend fire, because it's shooting from here in Zerglings, and you got to be able to stay here so you can kill before he even gets close. So it goes back to the old phrase that says the best defense is what? You ever heard this word? It's like the attack is the best defense.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The offense. Exactly. So you kill before you get destroyed. So he comes, he harasses you. You can see that you are over reinforcing the defense in this area, and you're forgetting about this. Now I know and I understand, because you probably bringing the behavior you have on Downforce Soulstorm, yes, because in Soulstorm it's much more complicated. I think in Soulstorm is much more delicate to control, because here you have like only 3 places to defend pretty much, or 2, but in Soulstorm you have one control point here, another one here. Jesus Christ, and they're very far away apart. How can you spot this? And then you have to do some splitting, and yeah, you understand. So in StarCraft you can reinforce just usually a single point. If you had a 4th base here, generally they will still tend to attack your 4th base, except if they have never scouted. Right? So if I build a forest base here, but I know there's no overlord here, or no Zerglis came to scout me, I'll not worry too much about reinforcing this. I'll still keep my army here. But the moment I know that he knows that I have base here, I'll tend to reinforce more here. Maybe, and then if I'm worried that an attack might happen on the front here, what I would do is I'd leave a single marine in the middle of the map here. And then I'll leave all my units unsieged here. Unsieged. This is very important. Because then, if this marine dies, I know the tendency is going from the middle. Because if he was going to attack me on the fourth, he most likely take this path. You know, like you go this, and then here, you know? If he's going to the middle, he's just going to go cross straight like this.
Yeah, so
and then the marine will die, and then you can immediately... Exactly. Now see, the siege tank takes exactly 3 seconds to unsiege.
Yeah, I see.
So this means if you were sieged up and your marine dies here, 3 seconds is wasted, and you're not gonna be able to get here in time. Because I mean, this is really fast. I mean, he's gonna be here in a matter of seconds, right? Especially if he's Zerglings and Banelings. So generally you want to stay unsieged when you have a fourth base, and then you build yourself a sensor tower, maybe here, and another sensor tower maybe here, because this way you can have vision of this area. You also have vision of this area, attacks coming, and then by having another sensor tower here, you have control of this whole area being attacked. And then you can stick with your army in between, unsieged, and like, oh, he's coming from the middle. Position, siege. Oh, he's coming from the top. Position and siege. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course, because you have your defense then very economical, because it's quite foolish to defend every single spot, like, and be lazy not to move. Yeah, if I can have one army and not like 2 armies, let's say, which is mobile, as you suggest.
Exactly. Yes, if you are unsieged. Exactly. Now, of course, that there are other situations that if you have your number of siege tanks is really big, it's perfect if you split half of your siege tanks here and here. That's perfect. But generally, we don't have a big number. We only have enough to defend one area or another. And you know that the more you split, the easiest is for the enemy to destroy you, because he will attack with a single army force in one place, and if you are splitted, that means you're splitted, right? You have half the firepower.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Okay. Okay, let's speak about your battlecruiser harassment early on. Okay, very important, very foundational thing here. This is gonna be very eye-opening for you. So, generally, if you do manage to attack before 5:30, so before 5:30, generally they don't have mute attack. Because in order to get mute attack, you see, he has to make lair, which takes a minute, 57 seconds. And he has also go for muta, which takes 71 seconds. So that's pretty much fully 2 minutes. Would you agree with me on that?
Yes.
And then, if I go back to 5:30, you can see that his spire is still being built. So if you do manage to attack before, say, I think in your level, even 6 minutes is okay.
With one
if attack before 6 minutes, yes. But most importantly, is not actually the number of Battlecruisers, because the Battlecruiser has a lot of mobility due to the teleport. Yes?
Yes.
So, what I'm suggesting to you is that if you are attacking in a range of time that he does not have Spire, you can teleport and play very aggressively. But if you are attacking in a moment that it's post the Spire, it most likely means he's gonna have Corruptors, which usually means after 630 plus. So let's divide this a little more simplified. So before 6:30 or before 6 minutes, okay? Before 6 minutes, sorry, before 6 minutes, no Corruptors. And then after 6 minutes, Corruptors for sure. Yes? So this means before 6 minutes, you should be just teleporting, harassing, and then once the Battlecruiser is like a 30% of the health, you go home and repair.
Wow.
But after, oh, by the way, I did a lot of this repair on my dreadnoughts on the on Soulstorm. Thanks to you. Thanks for the gift. Okay, and then after 6 minutes, the behavior that you're gonna apply with your Battlecruiser should be very different. So instead of teleporting from here, what you should be doing instead is you fly the Battlecruiser across the map, harass, and then once the Corruptor shows up and the BC life is below 50%, you teleport home. Now, to like, did you understood the difference between the first and the second? Would you like me to repeat?
I believe I understood that you can stay longer there if he doesn't have Corruptors. And what about you should use the Yamato guns, or
yes,
in the second case when he has Corruptors, yeah, that you will on time like shoot the Yamato and teleport when you are around 50% health, right?
Yes, usually, yes. But here's the thing. The most important part is not even the Yamato or anything else. The most important thing is that before Corruptors, you can play aggressively and teleport right away into his base.
I see. And the other way that you have to fly there slowly and then teleport defensively to safety.
Back. Exactly, because then you need the teleport mechanism to escape from the Corruptors. Otherwise, you're gonna die.
Yes.
So when he has Corruptors, very dangerous to teleport. Except in a situation that you see Corruptors here harassing you, and then you teleport a Battlecruiser that is in your base, in his base, to force him back. That's fine. But otherwise, you got it.
Yes, I understand.
Essentially, that's it. Yeah, essentially that's the main thing. Okay, small details, man, big difference. Your brother's gonna hate when he hears me telling you those things.
And do you think you can still stay on Battlecruisers fully when he goes so heavy in Corruptors? In general, probably yes, because if I use this strategy to save my Battlecruisers and repair them at home, like to fly to the Corruptors, like fight them until 50% health and then jump back. So in general, it's still okay to stay on Battlecruisers.
Yes, it is. As long as you keep building them constantly, and because look, if you get a maxed out Battlecruiser army, I'll show you this in Legacy Unit Tester later, so you can understand what I mean. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so now one problem with your brother, and this is a great feedback I have for your brother, is the way you're meant to play a Zerg is to be as greedy as possible. And your brother is being overly defensive, which is sacrificing his capacity to be greedy. which means that I don't know if if your brother knows this, but by 6:30, I can have 3 bases fully saturated with all the 6 gases. So around here, I would have it all. Now, one thing that your brother should do, and I think very important, is that he needs to produce many more queens. Because the early game stage, one of the most important units to defend yourself are the queens. Is the queens.
Also against
And
air,
then
right?
and then once you exactly Banshee, Liberator, and Battlecruisers. If you have 6 queens, you can take out the Battlecruiser without losing a single queen, as long as you micro properly. Now after that, if I know my enemy is going Battlecruisers, then I can start adjusting to Corruptors. In other words, in the first round of Battlecruiser attack, which is going to be a single Battlecruiser, only queens can stop it. But once the enemy starts getting 2 Battlecruisers or plus, then you need Corruptors for sure. Also very good input for you as a Terran to have, because you know that now if you attack with the first Battlecruiser, the number of queens is very small, you can wreck him really hard. A Zerg without enough queens versus a single Battlecruiser is gonna die. Because a Spore alone by itself isn't gonna be able to do much. Because if he had a Spore here, you position the Battlecruiser here, you can kill, and the Spore Crawler can reach him. Same thing this side. For example, this case, this Spore Crawler might be able to protect, say, around this area here. If you position really the Battlecruiser on the edge here, you still can shoot the drones. You can't shoot those guys here, that's for sure. But the edge here, you can still take it. You can snipe the queen, and you can definitely position the Battlecruiser here, and then kill these units in this area, because the Spore can't reach it. And the same concept applies to Banshees, Liberators, and so forth, and so on.
So
So
it's
tell your brother.
positioning of the Battlecruiser well, that the Spore Crawler has quite low range, in fact.
Yes. Yes. A single Spore can never defend a full base. There's just always gonna be specific vulnerable areas. If he has the Spore Crawler in the middle, he's still vulnerable on the gases. You're probably not gonna be able to kill the drones in the middle, that's for sure. You know, but you can take the guys on the gas. You can take the queen out too. Got it? So it's in order to defend the Battlecruiser well, you need the Spore and the queens at the same time. That's the proper way a Zerg is supposed to defend against it. And then once the number of Battlecruisers is above 1, you need Corruptors too. And tell your brother to don't go crazy rampant on Battlecruiser, Spore production. Maybe 2. But I would only go on 2 Spore Crawler production if I have 3 base economy already. Because before that, you sacrifice the economy too harshly.
You should have queens instead, more queens than spores so early, right?
Yeah. Yeah. 1 Spore and a bunch of queens. That's all. Your brother can build up to 8 queens to defense. So he's gonna have 1 queen to inject here, 1 queen to inject here, 1 queen to inject here, and 8 queens to defend. And spread creep, of course, right? Because that's the purpose of the extra queens. Defense and spread creep. Yep. So as you see, you jump, you do the tactile jump in a moment that it's plus 6:30, 6 minutes. Yes, and you see you position here. This very good. No, because see the spark can't reach you. Only the queen's shooting you. But imagine if your brother had right now 8 queens here.
Yeah,
This battlecruiser would be like, what the, right? And now, because you use the teleport, you can't run away because you see the Grumper has 4.72 speed, Battlecruiser has 2.62, so you can never escape from a faster unit than yours.
Yes.
The same thing applies Marines versus Zerglings. You don't run versus Zerglings, you know, you fight. It's better die fighting than die running. If you run, you're just gonna die running.
Yeah,
it's better to trade off then. Yeah, but you lost. The base is gone. You abandoned the boy. You just did like Minsk with Kerrigan.
Yeah.
Left. Okay, so as you see, he does a very small Zergling attack. Now take your bother also to not research burrow quickly. Only research. Apparently, the Zerg is supposed to only start taking up really quickly once he has 6 gases. Before that, it's suicide. And whenever, if he wants to go to Ultra Technology or Broodlord Technology, he needs at least 8 gases.
8 gases.
Because he can't support with only 6 gases. Yes. Only 6 gases. He should stay on Hydra, Linkbane, Lurkers, that kind of thing. Once he goes 8 gases, he now can tech up to Ultras too. Because now he does have the economy to support it. Now, as I was saying, he harassed you here early on. It was just a bunch of Zerglings. If you had a single siege tank here, or your siege tank, you would kill all of them real quick. Oh, I like this.
I changed because I saw that he has the corruptor, so I didn't want to continue the battle crisis.
Right, to her. Because he adjusted, right. Now see, that was actually a very smart decision by yours. Because you were like, I forced him to make a Corruptors, so might as well transition to ground. Very good. But if you're gonna go ground in StarCraft, because here you are playing like a more mech oriented. Are you aware?
Yes, I see now.
Because you
more factories. Many
yeah.
factories.
So yeah. So if you're gonna play mech, don't build the second and third barracks. Just stay in one barracks, one factory, one starport, and then from one barracks, one factory, one starport, you can transition into 5 factories and 1 starport. So you're gonna have now 1 barracks, 5 factories, and 1 starport. And then you're supposed to have, from those 5 factories, 3 tech labs, just like you have here, 3 factories with tech labs, and 2 factories with reactors.
So I start.
And now you have heavy Hellbat. Sorry, go ahead. You start from.
So
you're asking?
from 111, and then I will add like 1 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport, and I will go to 5 factories. Yeah, so I will stay on 1 racks and 5 factories, 1 starport, and so I will just repeat 3 tech labs and 2 reactors for making Hellbats. Yeah, on the reactor.
Perfect. Exactly.
And this is on 3 bases.
Because
right?
if you do have 3 base economy, yes. When you are in 2 base economy, only factories. 1 barracks, 3 factories, 1 starport on 4 gases. Once you get the gases on the 3rd, now you can go up to 5 factories. Now, if you have all those 6 gases that you have here, and you only have 3 factories, usually your gas is gonna be stacking up. you're not gonna have the money. I think in this case your gas is not really high because you forgot to put one extra worker here,
Yes, and
two extra workers
that's
here,
all.
and yeah, and on the third too, 3 gas here and 2 more there.
Yeah, that's a big mistake.
If you had that, yeah, if you had that, you would be able to reinforce fully all the economy. Oh, that widow mine hurt. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. That was not a very good decision by you.
Yeah, there will be many bad because I already I'm off my like strategy because I didn't know how to play this in fact because I was a bit panicked because I cannot use the Battlecruisers anymore, or at least because I also didn't know how to pass the Corruptors, so probably it's like indecisiveness or something, like I don't know what to do. I also fear that I will block some of my units inside the base because the towers are so big, but it's going to happen later.
Got it. Got it. Now we stay important. This is a bad habit you have. You see right now, we have one worker here. It seems to me that every time you build a new base, you fix the gases and the gases are looking fine.
Yeah.
But then what you do is you do exactly this. You select a bunch of workers and also the guys on the gas and then build, and now the guy gets out of the gas and then you forget putting it back.
Yeah.
The same thing happens on your expansion. You see, I'm pretty sure that those guys, at least few guys here, was from the gases.
Yeah.
Because you had those gases here. You had 3 here before.
I should not use
You understand?
gas workers for building stuff, right?
Never. Every time you do, you're gonna select. You just do this. Select the guys within the mineral range. Never the guys on the gas. And then you're gonna do. Because I mean, if you do this, you create new problems, right? Because now you have to fix it again, or at least you run the risk of doing this.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, but let's say I select those workers here, all of this. This one here too. If I tell him to build, if I tell it to build like a 3 supply depot here, which SCVs from all those are gonna be going there to doing this supply?
Oh,
Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it starts.
It's gonna be always the closest.
Yeah, so in this case...
The closest.
It doesn't matter, so...
It'll be this one or this. Yeah, the game is gonna calculate who is closest to the place you wanna build and pick the worker and go build. So if right now I build a supply depot here, this guy is gonna go there because he's the closest. If I try to build a bunker here, this guy is gonna go because he's the closest.
I understand.
If I try to build a turret here, it's gonna be one of those workers here that are the closest. You understand?
Yes.
So there's always gonna be this calculus behind it. Yes? Yes. So
it's better to be mindful about this if I accidentally like select all the mineral line plus gases, that I don't build the building next to the gas because it will take the gas workers
exactly.
out.
Exactly. Now you're attacking. Ah, Jesus Christ! Okay. Okay, so you're killing, looking good. Oh damn. Yeah, he has Broodlords now. Scary. Okay. Now here's the thing. If you do decide to go marine, heavy marine, you need steam pack and combat shield. Because without steam pack combat shield at this stage of the game, marines can't do much. Can't.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The thing about the marines is that if you want to build a unit in high scale, You need to have it as upgraded as possible with all the things that makes it stronger. Stink Pack, Combat Shield, and shoot upgrades. But because it seems to me you're going so heavy a factor, you go Mech. Mech is so much stronger than Bio, so much stronger until low Grandmaster. Yeah, just stay on Mech. Just do the infrastructure I explained to you, the 5 factories, and by the way, you only need Thors versus Muta. So maybe build like a 3-4 Thors and then stop. You don't need more than this. And then the main composition you should have is really heavy Hellbat, really heavy siege tank count, and a few Thors, and maybe 8 to 12 Vikings, but no more. Got it?
Yeah, Hellbats are also good in fact versus Broodlords, right? That they will burn the Broodlings. That Hellbats can
yeah,
do
very quickly. Yes. Almost instantly. Almost instantly. Does that make sense?
Yes, sure.
Yes?
It seems that my game was very disintegrated here because I tried Battlecruisers, then Mech, then Marines without upgrades.
Yeah, you're doing a very hybrid composition. And usually hybrid composition doesn't have good synergy, you know? The best is if you go one or another, you don't mix too much. Or actually you don't mix at all. You don't go Bio with Mech at the same time. I mean, if you go Bio, you also add some Mech components because you need the splash damage. Yes, you need the splash damage, or siege tanks or widow mines for the splash damage. But if you go Mech, you don't need Bio because you have the full power. You don't need it. Oh, he's PC on you. Oh hell.
No, it doesn't look already good. I believe that I am too spread out with the armies and I don't have simply the units.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, now he's slowly dying here. Yep. Okay. This is a great replay because there's so much cool and good things to understand. Let's leave this replay. I'll go to Legacy Unit Tester, and because there's a bunch of stuff that I need to explain to you about TvZ composition and what works and what doesn't. Okay, very important, very foundational understanding about TvZ. If your enemy decides to go Broodlords, the main way to beat it is by having enough Vikings to kill the Corruptors. Then you kill the Broodlords, right? So if I have, let's say, 16 Vikings, bunch of siege tanks, bunch of Marines, and I would just simply engage here. Yes, let's watch. You can see that the number of Vikings is still not enough. And then we got overpowered and we got killed.
Yes. It's very clear.
Yes, not even close. What was it?
No, it was not.
Yeah, not even close, right? So, yeah, it was not even close. So, so what you want is you want a great number of Vikings to the point that here I have 25 Vikings versus 20 Corruptors, and then I just move, and then supposing here that you see my Vikings not even attacking the Broodlords because they are prioritizing the Corruptors, and then this time once I kill all the Corruptors, I can now finally go for the Broodlords, and I have this time conquered properly the Zerg army. That's how you're meant to beat Broodlords. Yes, this is the main one of the main strongest ways to deal with it. Now another way that you can decide to beat this is by going really heavy Thors. And because, as you said before, Hellbats are really good versus Broodlords because they fry the Broodlings really quickly. So if I had, don't forget getting Blowflame, by the way. It's very important upgrade to for the Napalm spray. And then make sure you morph the Thor into high impact, because this Javelin impact here, you know there's a difference, right? Big
Yes. One is like splash
do you
damage and but small, and the other one is like heavy hitting, like for example against capital ships. And here also we should have it like the same, like against capital ships, like like against, for example, carriers.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You've nailed it. So I'll change to high impact. And then if I just attack here, look, I'm just gonna attack the ground. Look. First, I'm killing all the corruptors. Now some Thors are starting to shoot the Broodlords. Make sure you keep the Hellbats nearby the Thors so you can protect. And you can see we cleaned this up pretty good and nice, huh? Very effectively.
Yes, this is very effective.
It was not even fun. Yeah, we could have the Zerg have much more Broodlords. So for example, something like this. Here, like we are a little unrealistic here because we're 140 supply. Generally, we build up to 8 drones, so you would have 120 supply only. But just for showcasing, yeah, this is a really scary amount of Broodlords too, right? And then look, I'm attacking. Yes. See, I'm moving forward with my Thors because I want my Thors to kill the Broodlords and forget about the Corruptors. And you can see that even in this scenario, I can still take it out. Now see, this is critical. If I don't have the Hellbats, the Broodlings would have killed my Thors. I need the Hellbats to be close, defending the Thors from the Broodlings. So that those are the two main ways you can do with heavy Broodlord composition. Now, the downside of going heavy Thor is that if you do decide to go heavy Thor, where is it? Corruptors, a little bit of Broodlord, and then oftentimes what Zerg is going to do is they're going to build a lot of infestors. Yes. If they are aware, they're also going to build a lot of Hydras, something like this. And then I'm going to go in high impact. And then generally what they will tend to do is they'll start using the Neuroparasite. And this skill is brutal versus Thors usually.
Yeah, so they will take your unit.
Yeah, I think
the
we
Neuroparasite will just like take the unit on their side.
Yes. Yes, and start controlling it. So what we need to do is let's save this position. Yeah, so he attacks me. And we attack back. And we start to do the assimilation. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then you can see this is already not really looking really good for us, is it? You see?
Yeah, this is unfortunate.
Good. Something good for you, for your brother to know too. And then you just kill the Thors before the timer expires, and then easy peasy. So this is why I generally don't like Thors, because they're vulnerable to this type of thing. But something you can do is you reduce the amount of Thors you have, and then you have siege tanks. And then the siege tanks, you can use them to focus fire the siege tank. You can use it to focus fire the infestors, so you don't allow him to keep dominating your units, right? So look, he attacks.
Because siege tanks have longer range, don't they? Then
yes, yes. And then you can just focus fire. Yeah, and then take them out, and there you go, right? That's a workaround.
I see. If he even takes your Tor, but you kill him, so he's going to release the Tor again for you. That it's not anymore like Zerg.
Exactly. On his control, exactly. And you can always, what's the right word? Exploit that, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So not so many like Tors and like Hellbats only because the infestors can like give the Zerg the advantage. In fact, it was the Vibes army. If you saw his videos, like that famous YouTuber from United States, he recommended for a long time this composition like Hellbat Tor. He meant it like for beginning players, like that it's strong composition and like just for macro play.
Yes, it's it's extremely powerful, but there are certain workarounds that Zerg will be able to do, which is also if they go really heavy lurker and they make sure that they also have the lurker upgrade. Yes, and they combine this with heavy Hydra. And let's say you don't go siege tank. I think it is stupid to go pure Thor, because as I showed you, you are vulnerable to specific scenarios, which I'm gonna show you now. And then, like in this case, we are in an open area, so this is not, let's say, the best scenario for the Zerg, because usually realistically the maps have lots of choke points, right?
Yes. So they will.
So if I attack,
defend the ramp or something. The lurkers.
Yeah, and then because the Thors are big units, they will clog up there, and then this is.
I see already.
Yeah, this does not look
even
good
on open
for you, does it?
Yeah.
We could add now scans. So every time
they can fight back at least.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So the Thors can shoot to the lurkers. Yeah, and scanning again. You see, it's still not even close, right? You're still gonna get shredded, even with detection. That's what I'm showing you. Yes. So there's multiple ways that Zerg can actually deal with this. There's actually more ways.